indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone have a chance to look over the agenda?
Madam President, I move that we adopt the agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve and adopt the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda has been approved. Have a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting.
Madam President, I would say we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the meeting from February. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The minutes of the February meeting have been approved. Next, we have our public forum. We're happy to have all of our guests here with us today, including our incoming. So I think Mr. Reynolds would like to make a
Yeah, I'd
statement.
like to start with a statement, just to explain, because I didn't even get everybody upset over this, but I was wanting to talk about the position of eighth grade promotion ceremonies and also graduation practices. And I just wanted to read this and just give some facts and maybe make a statement, but Clayton Municipal Schools has a long-standing tradition of recognizing students' milestones, including the transition from middle school to high school. This transition is important and deserves acknowledgement. However, it is equally important that we clearly distinguish between promotion and graduation in order to maintain the integrity and the meaning of a high school diploma. Currently, our eighth grade ceremony mirrors the high school ceremony in several ways, including using the caps and gowns and the timing of the event the day before the senior graduation. While well-intended, and this practice can intentionally diminish the significance of high school graduation, the cumulative 12 years of academic effort it represents. A high school diploma represents a successful completion of all graduation requirements to serve as critical milestones for college career, life readiness, with when earlier grade level promotions are presented in a manner that are closely resembles graduation. And this is a mixed message to our students and families. I know in New Mexico, we're below the national average of our graduation in the state. So, the two graduations which we always have is always the kindergarten graduation, and then it's the senior graduation, and they're promoted from grade level to grade level for that right there. And I just wanted to bring this right here, and I shouldn't have waited till, because I didn't realize I got contacted about the principal that the person that was doing it last year didn't want to do. And I said, do what? Well, they do all these slide presentations, put all this, and she had no one to do that. And I didn't really understand when they were doing caps and gowns. So, and that, we should have started at the beginning of the year if we was going to do something like that. So that, I take all the blame on that, it's my fault. So all I'm asking for this year is just to change the name from graduation, eighth grade graduation, to eighth grade promotion. To do everything you did last year. But it's just, we need somebody that would come and do the slide presentations and that kind of stuff, put all that together. So just keep it the same, then next year I can meet with the eighth graders. We should have done this, should have all been done at the beginning of the school year. And someone made that point, I thought that was a very good point. So, but just only change that I'm asking to be made this year is from it being called an eighth grade graduation to eighth grade promotion. But still do the activities and stuff. I just trying to make us, this state, I've been on a committee with all the others, trying to get our graduation, we're still below the national rate of them. We have some students, and there's not just this school, and we've discussed with all the other schools, but making that, we want that senior one to be so important, that's their goal, is when they start in kindergarten all the way up, we want our students to be the best, and our scores are showing that. I'm very proud of our junior high this year from last year, they spotlighted school, just like our 5th and 6th grade had. I know we can get the other campuses, elementary just barely listed. It was attendance because they check all that kind of stuff. So, but that's what I just want to make that statement, and then I'll turn that over to y'all to speak.
Thank you.
The Board of Education welcomes public comments during the first portion of the school board meeting agenda. All comments must be related to a topic on the agenda for that particular meeting. The public comment section of the agenda will be the only time the board takes any questions or comments from the public unless we as a board choose to solicit more information from a person or group attending the meeting on matters specific to the agenda. And we just ask if you'd like to speak that you limit your individual comments to 3 minutes or so. Would anyone like to speak?
I'll start first. Just for the record, my name is Nikki Kellis, and I'm here tonight speaking on behalf of several parents of the current 8th grade class. We would have had more parents, but we thought the meeting was on Wednesday, so we had to change that. So first, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us this evening. We truly appreciate the work you do for our schools and for our community. Our goal tonight is simply to share the perspective of many 8th grade parents, hopefully work together towards a positive solution for our kids. With this particular class, we are very fortunate. We have a great group of kids in that class. They are smart. They are a spotlight group. In 5th and 6th grade, I believe they were also spotlight students. We have a strong support system, and I do want to speak on behalf of the younger classes too, because we do feel like 8th grade graduation is part of who Clayton schools are. Like we stand strong in our traditions. And I do believe that there are 2 different milestones. 8th grade graduation, I mean, that's awesome, it's great, we're pumped for our kids, but we also know that high school graduation is our ultimate goal. We are gonna get there, and especially if you have a group of well-rounded kids like we do in this grade. They're not gonna just settle for 8th grade. They're going all the way. And so I hope that you guys don't do away with that. Call it whatever you want, but just try not to take that tradition from our kids. Because, you know, a lot of times, parents, grandparents, family members, whatever it may be, they may not get to see their grandkids or kid or whatever walk across that stage for their graduation diploma. We're not promised tomorrow. So if we can at least give them that, I think that is huge. And then also, family members come to watch them graduate from 8th grade. That brings revenue to our town. Our restaurants, which we're limited to, but they come here. They spend money at our businesses. And things are already dying here in Clayton. We need these traditions to continue so that we can continue bringing people here. And who knows? A family member may come and visit and realize, you know what? I felt so at home when we were there. I want to go back, or I want to bring my kids back here to grow up. So if you guys will please take that into consideration. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to participate?
I would like to note briefly,
I'm sorry,
in
can you
regard,
repeat your
I'm sorry, my name is Bethany Bauer. I am also a parent of an 8th grade student this year. We are fairly new to town. This will be our first commencement exercise, graduation, promotion ceremony, what have you, in Clayton. I would like to note that whatever, as Nikki said, whatever it is called, there is a very significant difference between promoting from 6th grade to 7th grade and 7th grade to 8th grade, and from 8th grade to high school. Because it's a big difference in how schooling is done between the K-8 level and the high school level. And I do think it's important to recognize that the kids have hit this milestone and that they're moving on to something new. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for considering the timing, because we did go into the year thinking, my name is Holly Sandoval.
Thank you.
And we did go into the year, even the students went into the year thinking 8th grade graduation, not expecting anything different than what we're used to. So I do thank you for considering that and maybe looking at it at a different time. I would like to see the tradition kept alive. You all know the changes. We're losing school spirit, and this is a way to keep it going for these kids. It's my understanding also that Texine and Fell, I'm not sure about Des Moines, still do the graduation the same, and I just hope that you'll make a good consideration when you are thinking of changing it, and I hope that it won't be too drastic of a change if you do go ahead and do it. I'd like to say that our kids, my son is 2 grades ahead, and when he graduated 8th grade, he had cap and gown. By the time his brother graduated kindergarten, he only had cap. So his brother got the whole 8th grade graduation. Now he's seeing, well, I'm not gonna get the cap and gown. So these kids actually have lost a lot. And so I am thankful that you are gonna move forward with it being the regular tradition and just changing the name. That's fine, and I do appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll go to public comment.
So I'm Rachel Duran. I have my son in 8th grade. I do have one graduating in senior also. For me on a personal note, it's gonna be my first time attending graduation for my children. So it means a lot to me. And I'm glad you guys took time for, to listen to us. I'm sorry. But this means so much to me and my family. My children work hard for this. I think as a mom, they want to also give me the opportunity to see them graduate, because for my 8th grader, for Zach, he graduated as valedictorian from Philippines. I never got to see it because I was working overseas. So from the very first time that we moved in here, my children were striving so hard to get good grades, and they'll always say, we're gonna graduate with honors, and this time Mommy will see it. And to add to these wonderful parents, we also like to let you guys know that if there's anything that we can do as a parents to help with this graduation, with the expenses, you need additional help, or anything that, any help that we can, just so we can make this happen for each and everyone, we would like to help. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Crystal Galindo, and I just ask that we keep the tradition alive. Maybe no other places, some places in New Mexico don't do it, but Clayton does it, has done it. We watched all our siblings do it, we did it. Just keep it the same. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I knew we had good parents, and we could get with y'all to help us do this program to help, because I know that was a big issue, was to help get the slide and make it be very successful. So I know they contact Nikki, and she's always got everybody to get hold of y'all, because I knew, that's one good thing about Clayton, we have not just the best students, we have a lot of great parents too, and that's what we're proud of. Y'all represented that tonight here at the board meeting. Well, like I say, we hardly ever have anybody come see us.
Appreciate your input. Thank you.
Thank you for
We're gonna shake it
listening.
up every now and then so y'all will come, you know what I mean?
Is there any other public comment from online?
No, ma'am.
All right, moving on to financial matters. We have Judy with us tonight, and Susan Gowan. Hi, Judy.
Hello, how is everybody?
Good, thank you for being here.
Yes, no problem. I just want to thank you guys for having me, thank you. Does Gowan normally share his screen?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I do.
Okay.
Oh, she's got it up there.
Yeah,
She
she
does,
shares
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah, we got it up there.
Cassie is sharing already,
Oh, okay.
so
Well,
you don't have to.
sorry, I think I just went over.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Thank you again. I'm Judy Wood. I am with Axiom Analytics. I'm covering for Gowan. He contracted the flu. So, all right. So this evening we have our February financials. In y'all's investment account, y'all's balance was $79,741.40. The student activity account has a balance of $188,748.20. The athletic account has a balance of $56,839.68, and then the operational account, of course, has $2,534,336.97, and y'all's SEG was the same amount as last month of $585, $276.65. Y'all had two payroll batches, 15 and 16. One was 132, 266.43, and 134, 628.24. Y'all had the state taxes of $9,634.37, the ERB monthly payment of $18,559.31, and of course the NIPSIA payments for insurance, $82,893.22, retiree health care of $12,269.94, and then of course the IRS payroll taxes were $42,486.18, so the total was $500,737.69. We do have two increase bars this month. And the 24-101, this increase bar is for your Title I. This is the final award. So if y'all do approve this tonight, it'll just be tying that final award into y'all's budget. And then of course the SB9 state match award is the 31,703. And that's just SB9 state match. Do y'all have any questions? Okay.
Do you have those amounts for the bars?
Oh, I do. They are, so for the Title I, we have $16,334.42. And then for the SB9 state match, we have $55,768.74. And can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so moving on, we did have a couple of RFRs. This month we did some preschool IDME, so special education, and then we had some title reimbursements that we did. Moving on to the check listings, these are all of the checks that have been issued or any checks that were reprinted. Please let me know if y'all have any questions on that. I can bring, of course, we have the payee and then the amounts, but if y'all would like to know what they're for, I can bring that up. And then let me know if I'm going too fast.
I think we're good so far. We'll stop you if you have questions.
Okay. So of course, some more check listings. I'm sure you'll see that the ones that they were printed but just haven't been cleared from the bank yet. So if you have any questions on that, that's why there's not checks there. Of course, now moving on to the budget expenditure report. So this is like how much you spent in your budget for expenditures. So if you'll see over here, if you see any negatives, it means that we have things to clean up. Either something's coded wrong or we're just a little bit out of budget and that we need to transfer some funds over. So those should be fixed by the next board meeting. And then of course, if title or SB9, if any of that is in the negative, then that will also be cleaned up once those increase bars are approved. Student activity athletic funds, they always show a negative in the fund number, but y'all still have plenty of money in the actual student activity. So even though that says negative, it will always show negative because the way PED does it, they have it rolled all into the 23,000 account. So it's kind of like ignore those negatives, you're not negative in those
have a question.
We have,
Can you pause for 1 second, Paul has a question?
Mhm.
Can you hear me? I just have a question, kind of walk me through how to read this. I know the first column is budget, but there's zeros in about 90% of them. Can you tell me why?
Yes, because, these zeros right here in these 23,000s, they'll always say zero. And that's just because of the activity fund. If you notice going more to the top, in operational, in transportation, that's what we actually budgeted throughout the year. So then, whenever you're tying in your budget and in your financials, that's the numbers that you wanna go off of, and then if you're over, you have to fix it, if you're under, you have to fix it, but those are our main target numbers that what our budgets are. But these like I was saying, these 23,000 funds, we don't ever budget it because of, you'll see it here in this very top one, in this big initial 23,000 account, that's where all the money is held. It's not held within the individuals. Like, even though class of 2029, we know they have they've expended 280 in New Mexico Ped World. They don't ever look at class of 2029. They look at this general activity fund.
Okay. Just by the expenditure. That's been taken out of it. Be my guest. Thank you very much.
Again, if y'all have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Just going through more of the expenditure reports. Next, we have the cash balances. This is probably one of my favorite reports. I know that sounds weird, but whenever you're not used to accounting or programs like this, these numbers are so important on the cash balance. So all these ones on the right, you definitely want them to be in the positive. If there are some in the negative, those are the ones that have to be cleaned up. There's a reason why they're probably negative, and they need to be, funds need to be moved, or increased bars need to happen. It would just be cleaning up your budget. So whenever you're looking at, like, for instance, those activity funds that I was just telling you that are negative, you can see that a lot of these class accounts or activity accounts do indeed have a significant amount of money. They're not labeled here, so if y'all want me to look at any of these activity accounts to bring them up, I can, but at least that gives you a better general idea. And then this negative here, it looks like this just needs to be rolled up into this other activity account, just looks like some miscoding.
Junior
So, of
athletics
course-
at $3.56.
$2.50.
I'm broke. You can't buy a Coke.
Yes.
Not even a happy hour Coke.
We have more than one.
And that's just in the junior high athletic account, it's 2,200 account. So again, all of these accounts will roll into that main athletic account. Just like this one, you'll see here is 52,000 and this one's 91. Technically, all of these are the exact same account. It's just the way the funding lines are.
Is it pretty common just to put cash there instead of what I was spent on?
Could you hear?
Say that again?
Is it pretty common just to put cash instead of what it was actually spent on?
I don't,
Like
Paul's asking, like,
cause I'm seeing
where it says cash,
$8,312.18.
is it common for it to just say cash in general instead of
No.
a specific,
so it's supposed to say like a specific account, like class of 2029. I'm not sure why the titles of these accounts say cash, but it is a cash account because activity is cash accounts, but I don't know why the titles didn't pull like from visions.
It could be like a blue
So I
chip.
can ask you how we can get to that.
thank you, Judy.
Just curious.
Mhm.
Okay. look where our money's going and see what the.
If
Of course,
possible, if
they're
possible,
all
we would,
more,
if
Go ahead.
possible, we would like to see that next time, if we could pull those over, the names,
okay,
thank you.
absolutely. And then, of course, you have some more, and then, again, if there is a negative, by the end of the year, there can't be negatives, and that will get cleaned up, either it'll go into a main account, or it could be account that, we need to just clean up, or maybe it got coded wrong, things, but we'll make sure to get all of that fixed. Okay, of course, here we have some title fundings, that are negative. That should be cleaned up with those increase bars, and then, looks like we have some, sped, so I will have to ask Alan on that one. If maybe we have something coded wrong, or maybe we just need to do an increase bar. Of course, we have some operational accounts and other accounts, that are in the negative, but again, a lot of this is also reimbursable money. So whenever we talk about RFRs monthly, we have to turn in what you're spending your money on, and then PED reimburses us. And some of those funds are that, like your food services, your, well, some of your sped, library, GoBond library, you hold the money, and then you request your money back from PED, and then they reimburse. Does that make sense?
When do they typically reimburse? Is it like once a month, or is it every quarter, or like how does that work at the end of the year?
It's typically once a month.
Okay.
So once we put in the RFR, it's typically within the next month that we do get that money back. Of course, everything else, is looking really good. This right here, this negative, it looks like those two belong together. This one is coded incorrectly, or I'll have to ask Alan, how we can fix that. But, overall, you still do have money in your 31,900. So, and then of course with your state, match, that will also rise, if you approve the increase bar tonight. Of course, now, just the bars and the transfers. So this one is the Title I, and the $16,334.42. And, it looks like a lot of it is gonna go into instruction and salaries expense, some general supplies. And then, the capital outlay SB9 match, we put it in maintenance and repair. And of course, that can always be changed. Any other questions?
We appreciate all of your explanations.
You were very thorough, thank you.
Well, thank you. Everybody does their ward a little bit different, so I was ready for questions, so.
You're awesome.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Oh, Madam President, I move that we approve the financial reports.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the financial report. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Financial report has been approved.
Madam President, I make a motion, we approve the bars.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bars. Any discussion? All those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bars have been approved. And there were no transfers, right? Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to reports. Would we like to start with Ms. Evans?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, good evening, Madam President, members of the board. I have just a lot of different activities that are going to be happening or already happening. Right now, we're in the middle of parent-teacher conferences, so teachers started some right before spring break. The majority of them are starting today. Parents coming in during prep times, lunch times, after school. The official parent-teacher conference day is on Thursday, but for teachers to try to get everybody in, they've been doing those this week. I started my own, formal teacher evaluation, so those are what we're required to do, and so I started on those. I'll be doing those all this week, and then I have a couple next week. And then, I schedule post-observation, feedback sessions with my teachers. We go through the different domains, and I talk to them about what I saw, get their feedback, input, and then, we score their rubrics together. And so I'm working on that right now. On the 25th of March, Jeanette Walker will be coming in. She was supposed to come in last month, but we had a conflict with a math adoption program coming in, and so she's gonna come. That'll be her last time here for this school year. So she'll be coming in to do her classroom walkthroughs. All the teachers have really appreciated that, and her feedback is always welcome. And she'll be doing her last mini professional development session with us. On those math critical thinking skills called Building Thinking Classrooms. Our third 9 weeks honor roll awards will be on Wednesday, March 25th at 12:30. I had to put it on a Wednesday because we have a lot of different things happening on these next few Thursdays. April the 2nd will be our Easter parties, our last final party of the school year. I might be asking some NHS students or student council friends to come over and help hide those Easter eggs. And so I'll reach out to the high school about that. They're always really good about coming, and they have the energy to go and hide eggs and chase kids around. So they're really helpful in that. And then April 6th through April 9th is when my 3rd and 4th graders will be doing the MASA state testing. So we will start, it's just my 3rd and 4th grade students. We will start Monday, and we'll test Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
All day.
No, so they're not timed, and there's 2 sessions, so there's 2 ELA sessions and 2 math sessions. Typically, we start at 8:30. Most students are done by lunchtime. I mean, they shouldn't spend hours, it's not designed to be hours on end, so 2 to 3 hours is, dependent upon some of the kids. Other than that, I will have a whole lot more to report next month, because then we'll be looking into May and have a bunch of stuff, but I haven't quite gotten all those dates lined out yet on end of year activities. Yes, Mr. Wood?
How do you, like, when you go to do your evaluations, is that based on, like, you just, like, sitting in the classroom for so many hours a day and watching, like, how they do it, or how does that work?
Right, so it's called Elevate New Mexico, and there's 4 domains. Domain 1 is planning and preparation, so that looks at teacher lesson plans, knowledge of content, areas like that. When I go into a classroom and do a formal observation, I'm looking at domains 2 and 3. So domain 2 and 3 consist of like culture of classroom environment, using student discussion, techniques, like what's going on. Now, I don't put all my emphasis on one evaluation, that's why I try to make it into classrooms throughout the school year. Sometimes it doesn't happen as much as I'd like for it to, but if I already know what's going on in teachers' classrooms throughout the school year, I have a pretty good idea of, are they using, certain questioning techniques, or, versus is this just a one-time thing that, principal's coming in, I've gotta put on, my best performance. So I gauge mine off of not only what I'm doing I sit in there for like an hour and a half for the formal observation, but my walkthroughs are typically like 15 to 30 minutes. Ideally, I'd like it to be bi-weekly, but it's not always the case. And then domain 4 is professionalism. So, are we coming to work on time? Are we able to work collaboratively with others? Are we keeping up with grades? Things like that. So there's 4 different areas that we're required through PED to give a formal evaluation.
Okay. I appreciate that, thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
Steve? Yes, good evening, Madam President and members of the board. Mr. Maestas, Mr. Tercidi, and myself, we've been looking at math curriculums along with K6 also. But Mr. Maestas and Mr. Tercidi decided that they want to go with one and be the same. So there'll be a lot of confusion between 7th and 12th. But we're still, it still has to be adopted, we still have more meetings, but they really liked McGraw-Hill.
So we spent a lot of time on that, lots of meetings, and they both really liked McGraw-Hill math. So, our third 9 weeks honor roll assembly will be on Thursday, March the 26th at 1:30. Also early release on Thursday, my teachers are doing parent-teacher conferences as well. There were some still up there when I went back to get my laptop. We start science tests for 5th and 8th graders the last week of March, March 30th through April 2nd. 5th and 8th graders will do the science test, which is ASR. Also, our varsity band, along with some 7th and 8th graders, will be going to Clovis on April 2nd for Southwest is for competition. So I know that he pulled up some 7th graders because it was kind of small, so he's trying to get it. And they had their first practice with all of them this morning, and he's like, it went really well. So he's so funny. He was really super excited about it. I have done my evaluations. I have a few left. So I started them before spring break. So I've been working on those as well. So, and then on Friday, when we have professional development, we'll be doing test security training for ASR, which is last week in March. So that's what's going on here.
Well, thank you.
I didn't think I had much, but I guess I do.
A little something, come up with a little something, something.
Little something coming in here. Good evening. We have parent-teacher conference as well Thursday. Ours is actually runs from 1 through 6, 1 o'clock through 6 o'clock at night. Kind of makes it a long day for teachers and stuff like that, but high school's a little bit different. I wish we'd get everybody to show up like elementary does. Everybody wants to come into elementary, but it's really hard to get people in the high school side to see it. But that's where we run our parent-teacher conference. I'm about finished with my evaluations as well. I've got 2 left, and I started quite a ways before spring break. But just trying to get everything worked in and get everything done it makes it tough. It's kind of an interesting deal. As far as stuff that's going on at the high school, basketball is over. We had a great year. Both teams made it to state this year. Boys in the first round run into Buzzsaw. Texaco is some kind of tough. They are extremely tough. Boys were knocked out in the first round. Texaco actually went on to win the state championship. So, I mean, they played good, but I'm telling you, that was men among boys down there. Golly, that's a tough team. I'd put them up against about any team you want to go play against. They're that good. Girls made a good run, got to the quarterfinals. They lost to Laguna Acoma by 9, ended their run, and then Mesa Vista ended up being the champions up there. So I'm glad Laguna Acoma didn't win because I didn't want them to win after they knocked us out. That's horrible.
That's fair.
Just the way it is, too competitive. While we're at the pit, Aloria Luna was awarded a scholarship by the NMAA. It was called the Together We Rise Scholarship. She got $1,000 from them. There's over 660 students that put in for scholarships to the NMAA this year. Of course, only 66 were given out. This particular scholarship recognizes graduating seniors who demonstrate excellence in academics, in leadership, and participation in school activities. And I thought, man, what an honor to have that presented not only on the pit floor, but in front of thousands of people that were in a pretty cool deal. Some of you got to see it, I don't know, but man, it was pretty darn cool. I was pretty proud of her. We did have a big powerlifting here on the 7th of March, which went off unbelievably well. I was really impressed with how well it went off. It's gonna take me a minute, because I wanna give every kid their 5 seconds here. But our boys, it was actually a dual meet with us and Raton, and our boys won by a huge margin. It was 78-24, and the girls won as well, a little bit closer.
78 to 24, did you say?
38, or 78-24.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we smoked them pretty good. And the girls won, it was 38-26. We have some kids that should be winning state championships, I think, this year. I mean, that was the first powerlift I've ever been to in my life. And I was pretty impressed with it. I was just pretty impressed. It was a pretty cool deal. One particular young man that I'm gonna say, Marcus Guerrero, broke a couple of records for 3 and 4A, and I think maybe a 5A, but I'm not sure. This guy weighs hundred and 32 pounds, and he lifted over 1,000 pounds, which is pretty, that's very good, very good. But we're very excited about our power lifters. Bree Rios was first, Natalie Vigil was second, Leila Espino was first, Cora Lopez was fourth. Now each one of these students are in their own individual weight class, so they wasn't competing against each other. Melody Makata was third, Divinity Wallace was second, Zach Boron was first, Landon McClure was first, Marcos Guerrero, like I say, I was really impressed with him, he was first. Greg Mangelsdorf and Adrian Jones were 1 and 2, they were in the same group. Thomas Burlington and Juan Sandoval were second and third, and they were in the same weight class. Joseph Gonzalez was first, Rafael Enriquez was second, Andrew Padilla and Riker Scott was first and second, Elijah Cisneros was first, Isaiah Rain was first, Simon Smith was first, and Samuel Niera was first. And we had 4 boys that lifted over 1,000 pounds that day, and our girls lifted from 395 pounds to 590. And if you guys know Bree Rios, she's about as big around as this big water bottle here, not much taller, and she lifted 345 pounds. I was blown away by, I mean, if you compare her to Isaiah Rains, and she's at 350 and he's at 1,000, she's actually kicking his hiney a little bit, you know, it's just kind of crazy. But they are so competitive, and Coach Cisneros has done an outstanding job with them. We are gonna have a meeting tomorrow. We have to have our spring sport meeting for baseball, softball, and track, and it'll be tomorrow. And what that does, it just catches some kids. I know we have some kids coming into baseball that didn't play any other sports for us and stuff, so we have to get all this through the NMAA and have our meeting and stuff, so it'll be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And that's for baseball, softball, and track. As you know, our football coach is gone. Actually had some interest in a football head coach job already, and had a guy come today, which I personally think is an outstanding candidate. And I spent 3 hours with him and his wife today. We looked at, I've never had a coach want to see absolutely everything we have, and we looked at everything we have. I was really impressed with him. He's not a guy that's a real fly-by-night person. He was at Dalhart for 7 or 8 years. He was at Canyon for 9 years. He was at Panhandle for 7 years. The guy's been around, but he's consistent. He stays there. He coaches a lot of stuff. So I'm really excited about the possibility of getting a good football coach in there. I'm pretty happy about it. And the guy just kind of fell in my lap. It was kind of an interesting story, but really happy to have him. Mrs. Scott and I say I loosely. I have done a few things on there, but been working diligently on schedules for next year. We've had a lot of success and getting a lot of things figured out. We're changing a lot of stuff, and we're trying to get all this worked out. This is not an easy process when you get that whiteboard up there and you got 9,000 names and classes and all this stuff in there. It's a long, drawn-out deal. It's kind of an interesting thing. We've got several students that applied for scholarships, both local and statewide, and students are taking it a whole lot more seriously than they had earlier. I'm glad to say that they've come to her. They've got a lot of scholarships. We've had a lot of kids come get them and fill them out. So when they get in there, if they didn't get a scholarship, it's because that kid didn't get after it, come in and get those scholarships because you're there, and she's done a great job on that part of it.
Thank you for doing that, Cassie.
Absolutely.
The FFA went to Roswell on the 14th of March. Had a very good showing. Our Ag Mech was second out of 25 teams.
Hey, that's awesome.
Their scores are climbing.
Nice.
I heard every excuse why we weren't first today.
I just blew him off.
You know me. It's okay. Let's just have a hug.
Yeah.
No, it did not work that
You just
way.
gotta be better.
You gotta get tougher. That's just all there is to it. We only had 2 students in the FBM contest. Colvin Ward was 4th high individual, and Bree Rios was a 14th high, which I thought was extremely good for being her first year. If we could ever get the entire team to show up at one time, there's no telling where the FBM team's gonna be. So we've got some positive things looking there. The wildlife team ended up about 11th out of 30 teams, and I was pretty excited about that, being an ag teacher and stuff. And I look at those numbers and I go home and punch them, and my wife goes, "Why are you looking at that?" I can't help it, the ag teacher is still in there, so I'm going through all those numbers and looking at it. We need to improve here, we need to do this, and then tell Mr. Doherty, hey, this is what we gotta do, and it's working out really good. Last item I have, when I first came here, I changed the open lunch policy at the school for juniors and seniors. Before they went to lunch off campus every day. I shut that down, the only time they can go to lunch now is on Thursdays, and only if they're passing classes. So when I started, we had maybe 8 to 10 students that could go to lunch. Everybody else was not passing. I did not let them go to lunch. And I'm pretty proud to tell you, this week, with the new report that I just pulled off today, there's only 5 students that go to lunch today.
Nice.
On Thursday. We're making great headway at the high school. Kids are buying into, you know, what we're preaching and stuff, and I think the change in teachers and attitudes and everything else is really paying off really good. I'm pretty impressed with all the stuff that's going on, so it's working. It's working.
Good job.
That's it, that's all I got.
I got one question for you. So I know what it's gonna be.
No, fine. Yes, sir.
The timers, how are we coming on our track timers?
Dude, it's set up, it's ready to go, we've tested it.
Nice!
Nice. We're, I'm looking at some different stuff for track, our old pits, our oval pit, our high jump pits are horrible, absolutely horrible. So I'm trying to get into some college stuff and see if we can get somebody to donate stuff. I don't care if it's hot paint with yellow stripes on, I don't care what color it is. We'll get a cover, we'll spray paint it orange if that's what it takes, I don't care. But I'm trying to get some different stuff, talk to a couple of different colleges, and well, we don't know if we're gonna replace this year or not, but ours are in pretty bad shape, so we're trying to get that in place, so.
Cool.
We're working on that track constantly. Tim got all the wire and stuff ran in there,
Gotcha.
got everything up, had to dig a trench through. I don't know who mined this rock that we put down for sidewalks, but man, some of that stuff is pretty crazy. But they got all that stuff in, him and his crew got that in there, got it set up. Justin actually wanted to have Mr. Molson and I do the Fat Man Mile, and I said, I'll do a Fat Man 5-foot walk if you want me to turn it on and off, that's as far as I'm going. So, but he's got everything going, we're in pretty good shape, we're about ready to do something.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yeah, I want to thank my staff, because like they was talking about the scores going up, the activities, all the things going on. It was exciting to have this, pilot to meet here, and I have to give our maintenance department, everybody on this campus, and all 3 campuses pitched in to help. Miss Levi came over and did it was incredible. But the last time, I kept saying Clayton had, this was the first, no, the last one they had was 1984, and it was against Raton. So it's kind of neat that we brought it back, and we was trying to do 3, but Des Moines had to back up the other activities and stuff. But we brought in some great judges, and they were just, we said, we got kids in this going off to the basketball playoff game today. And that, we started at 9, and they were done by 1, and those judges said, I didn't think we could get it done, but it was, I can't brag about it, it's the staff and the students and stuff, they were there. We had good people coming in, I'm just so excited about bringing stuff like that back, putting Clayton back on the map and making it, just keep adding stuff, because there's so many good things happening in this town, especially with our students. We're excited about that. Okay, we were gone, like I said, to Albuquerque, and I got a chance, because I went every day to PSFA, knocking on their doors, wanting to have a meeting with them. One day they were at Maxwell. I said, well, I'm not going back to Clayton without, I want my face-to-face. So I finally got that Friday morning. I was excited about that. Met with the director. We did some discussing. He has all of our stuff lined up for our teachers. He's got all that. But we still have a lot of things to go through to get their help on funding us. So he told me a plan and stuff, how we can do that, but also it was just good information, because he's, like I talked about, how are we on the list of needing improvements of the 100 list, which we want back on before we spend our bond money and stuff, because we want to make sure that bond money is just what we can use here and let them spend. And that's my goal, is make sure that they pay for everything that comes out of the state of New Mexico. He said, we're going, okay. We discussed about who my representative from that, and we're gonna get that taken care of, but he's gonna have someone come back and reevaluate our campuses.
Right.
Because there's no way that we was on the list and then we got taken off. He said, well, there's things in, so I've got letters that I've started today, and he said, we're working back and forth, but we said, Friday morning, it was supposed to just be a brief meeting, I was there an hour and 45 minutes. And I wasn't gonna leave till they took care of Clayton, because they're doing so many things for Raton and Maxwell and Springer and stuff. And so he said, yeah, so we still have time to get that, we'll be voting on that in June. So I want them to go ahead and increase their help, but also hopefully build a whole new building, whatever, use their dime, and run to the Hunter and do the waiver to keep that bond money here, so it won't go towards the architects, all that, and it's planned to do, and get more for our bank. So I was excited about that, and I'm gonna stay on. So
When
I'll
did they
keep-
think they could come up here and do the 100?
Yeah, we're gonna come do the survey, because we gotta redo the survey so we can get back, I gotta get us back on that. And I talked about Palms coming out here, and they already talked to us about, we're not parking under the bus, because that's gotta be demo, because it's not a structural. So we're gonna get that taken care of, and so that's gonna help, and there's some other issues, so I've got that report that's gonna help Clayton turn in to get us, on us back on that list, so we can get the waiver, and get more funding from the state that comes from their big bank account there that's still drawing up, so there's still lots of money there. So we still have a great chance, so I'm gonna keep fighting that, so we can get better, bigger, nicer facilities, and make sure they spend their money that's in that big bank account, so he says he's gonna help work with me on that. We went through a lot of lists and things like that. So I'm saying, I'll meet with him again. I'm going back, and send my report. We go Wednesday through Friday to find our unit values and the budget, and that's gonna help me more and everything, because and like you said, I put down that I've already started interviewing for the football coach, and then, junior high and Kaiser principal, since, Ms. Gaither is retiring. So I've got that started, got, already people contacting me on that, so we're getting that, we're trying to get out there and get early, get some good quality people to come in, to keep the direction we're going in and our philosophy and things like that, so I'm excited about that. Still, I got a report on these fire panels at the high school, still not completed, and I look back on the notes.
We're gonna know it.
Right there, it's just amazed, because I really thought I'd be here today saying it's finished, but they were working on it.
Are you clipping them at night, or what's going on?
So.
I'm so tired of that stuff.
So
It's right outside my office. and
Yeah, I
it's-
bet.
oh my gosh.
I bet.
And they keep trying to, they keep getting parts in it. So,
Shop. PP.
right. And then, of course, right before spring break, I've sent out intent letters, and there's a few that didn't get them, but I'll know more. And we're down to that, we might have to cut, which I think we got it down to 1 or 2 positions now. So I've lowered it down even lower. It never was gonna be a big, but I think I already got that figured out how we can do that. But I'll get so much information when I go this week. We're there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in PED, and the Commissioner of Education, Secretary of Education, will talk to us about, are we getting $100 per student more, or are we losing 37, and things like that. So we'll get a lot more when I come back, and we'll work on the budget, start working with y'all about our budgets and our goals and things, and everything we want to accomplish for this next school year. So we're working on trying to finish up this school year and keep things going, and all the great things that are happening. I always tell the students, especially my seniors, y'all are gonna look up when you walk across that stage. So it goes fast. This spring semester has been very fast. We've had vehicles and stuff. We did get we picked up our brand new Suburban. It's the state paid for. So we have another Suburban that I'm gonna say we get funding through the state, they paid for that. So I'm excited about that. So we're using every vehicle. We've had them going to professional development and things like that, and also trainings and going all kinds of things. So that was sure help us have all that back in. So that's good. So I'll get a lot more good information. I'm excited about that. I think I'll keep working for that funding, get all we can for Clayton, New Mexico. So,
Great job.
Have you had any applications coming in for the school counselor and social worker?
No,
No.
neither one of those, and those have been posted the longest.
Wow.
And I still, but I'm out trying to recruit, because that's one thing, when I was in Albuquerque, you see all those people that, so I did get some people possible in other positions that, you know.
Have we reached out to any of the local colleges?
Yes. Yeah, we did, and, we're fixing to we're going to Kenyon, I think it's in April.
I went to Eastern and visited with those kids that were over there. The biggest part of those kids are elementary and special ed.
And there's not that many people going into education, right? I mean, really.
There's not a lot. it's pretty slim pickings when you go there in a school of that size, and if there was 50 kids in there, I'm telling you, 35 of them are elementary and special ed.
I've been trying to recruit Dave, I don't know if it's working, but we're trying to recruit Dave, I don't know if we get his wife to leave over this, but.
And there's a lot of Texas, he said there's a lot of Texas schools that came over, trying to recruit them over to Texas. So they were really-
Yeah, there was
a lot there.
Lubbock was there. Friendship was there. Lots of Texas, I mean, there was a shortage of teachers everywhere, and when you get Texas schools coming to Eastern and stuff, trying to get people signed up, but it's a pretty competitive market. But the problem is, I actually brought back some resumes that Mr. Humboldt and I went over, and it's pretty short. There was a couple of them I was really impressed with. One was a bilingual teacher, which we don't have to have now because the state changed their rules. One girl was from Canada, probably the best girl that I talked to, Saskatchewan, and she was pretty dang good. But it's a tough market right now. I'm telling you, it's hard to get teachers, and when you start talking about social workers and stuff like that.
Is there any funding available that we could offer one of our own teachers to go with those extra hours to get certified as a counselor or a social worker?
That's what I was checking, see, right now, they're giving us money for special ed, to keep our special ed teachers and stuff, and I was asking, can we not use those, so I've got in to ask if we can use those funds towards stuff, we keep, this will be my second year, we're still looking for that counselor. Is there a way that we get funding for that? So I'm hoping they get to talk to Alyssa, that's over that department at the grants and stuff, and I have a meeting with her at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. So that's good. And I also have a meeting for, that's some extra funding for CTE at 5 on Wednesday, 6 o'clock with another group. So I'm trying to get us more funding for our students here. So I think I can.
Then I saw
some more.
I heard that in, like Logan, they're doing a CTE thing where like it's like there's a main campus in like it's Texas somewhere, and it's about people leaving school becoming like certified to be like a welder or a plumber, or beautician, or different things. Like, man, I think that's huge for kids to like get something like that. I don't know all the particulars, but maybe we could like reach out to them to like just see what they're doing if we could be a part of it.
We're one of those schools.
Nice.
It's called CEN. I was with it at the other, and we got some others, and they joined in Mascaro. I've got Ratone, Maxwell. We're bringing that because we know the funding from Washington D.C. is coming down that. And we're trying to get it to be sent to the schools. So we're trying to get that, and it's going to be a good thing, like you said, trying to get students in what's called collegiate high schools, making us
Well, you got a hospital here, so we can take advantage.
right. We've been talking to them and things like that, so that's another good possibility.
Great.
So we meet, that's another meeting we're having on Thursday.
Awesome.
All the cities, so there's 15 of us that bought, we started that 2 years ago. So I think we're rolling in the right direction for this state to get that. We're a part of that, it's called CE, the Collegiate Education Mission.
Lots of good things happening.
I have one more question, sorry. About like the budget for next year, since we went to like a 4A school, is that gonna make our funding, like are they gonna try to rip us off of funding or not really? Cause I was afraid that like you might get like the punishment thing of being like the.
There's already 7 or 8 more schools that are going to put in for that school. I believe Des Moines is the only school in this area that's not 4 days. I believe they're going to 4 days. The only thing is it's our transportation money, because you're behind, so I know that's going down, but we've got that under control. I think our budget's gonna be good, but we picked up some more miles, as you know, we had that one route where we left at 4:15 in the morning to pick up that student, and they were back to 7:30 at night. So that, picking up those mileage, we took, 298 miles round trip a day. We added that, they were just like shocked, because they didn't red flag us so far.
They made us explain why it was that, yeah.
But it's so cool, we had that ranch way out there that took, that was a lot of miles. So that really did help us. So that's looking good. It's looking good because while that was going on, that was in our 120 days, which is what they take off. So that's the only area that I think will be going down in our budget, would just be that. It won't be anywhere else in the budget because we're still, teaching all the subjects that we require, we're getting all the minutes and the hours. We can't have any more remote days, of course. If we miss a day from here on out, we have to make it up. And it can't be made up until after the last day of school. So hopefully we'll have a good weather and keep the kids without having enough bad weather.
Awesome job, thank you.
All right, moving on to board communications. First is the presentation of the fiscal year 24 audit.
She didn't get back with us, or the firm didn't, so we'll have to table that. We've asked for that to be tabled.
Okay.
Madam President, I move that we table the presentation of the FY 24 audit. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to table the presentation of the fiscal year 24 audit. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, we will table the presentation of the fiscal year 24 audit. Next up is the update on the bond. Looks like Brad is with us.
You still with us, Brad?
I am here.
Thank you.
Good evening.
You want
I
to
will.
give us an update?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Well, good evening. Thank you, Madam President, members of the board, superintendent. This is Brad Aggs with Steeple Public Finance. Apologies on the video. My camera doesn't seem to be working here. But pretty quick update for you this evening. We continue to prepare for the first bond issuance coming off your election here this past fall. The first kind of board action that we're going to have for you will come next month. So we continue to work on the credit ratings, on the bond offering documentation, and prepare for that bond sale. So next month, again in April, we're going to be in front of you with that first step, which basically is the board considering authorizing the sale of the bonds. Of course, your voters already authorized that, so what the board is doing is just confirming that the dollar amounts are the right amounts. You're putting some limitations on the interest rates that we can lock in and really approve us just continuing down that path. Really that path culminates with us locking in some interest rates in May, and then looking to close and deliver funds to you all in June. And so this has been, the timing's been set up to correlate with your mill levy calculations and setting that here this coming summer. We do that in the July and August time frame, so we have to have that debt service locked in by that point, but also to go along with some of the work you all are doing with PSFA and the superintendent's working to get those matching dollars. So we are on schedule and continue to move forward. The markets and the interest rates continue to cooperate. The war going on in Iran and some of the oil and gas volatility has resulted in some volatility in our markets as well. We've had probably over the last couple of weeks about a 1/4% increase in interest rates. All in all, though, we still have access to good, cheap money for the district, being having access to tax-exempt rates and municipal bonds. We expect that interest rate to still be in the high 3% or 4% range. So quite a bit lower than a commercial loan that you may hear of, or like a mortgage type rate. So with that, happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
Is That, Texas Longhorns hat that your son is wearing,
That is.
that is disappointing.
What was that?
I said, that is disappointing.
Oh, come on.
That's the only thing I got. Thank you.
No, I'm used to it. People, love to hate on the Longhorns.
Thank you for the update, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have an update on the daycare fees.
And I haven't heard any more, and you, oh, good.
You know, we think we're there and we're just not. So Miss Jamie Halbert, she has agreed to be our temporary director since she does hold that early childhood license. Since she worked in Texas, we had to get a Texas background. So we got that background, I sent it to ECECD. I contacted the lady this morning. She's cleared, so we have the background clearance letter in the mail to us. I have yet to receive it. She said she put it in the mail the 6th of March. We don't have it yet. Once I get that clearance letter, then I have to submit it to my other ECECD contact, the one who's been helping get the daycare license. At that point, they will want to schedule an initial meeting, whether that be Zoom, whether they come down here. She wasn't very clear in that. And so that's where we're at right now. Progress, but not there yet.
Progress is good.
Yeah, I got the RS letter.
You keep getting closer.
You moved past the tax problem.
Yes.
Carolyn Montano, she had some kind of hookup at the IRS in Santa Fe and got it. So, thank you to Carolyn Montano for doing that. Yeah, yeah, so.
Okay, keep working on it.
Yes.
I might look forward to their 8th grade promotion before they. Sorry.
That is funny, that's funny.
That, the fire.
All right, an update on summer rec.
Yes, I was able to go to the meeting for the county, and that was really good. I mean, that was so positive, I got to go to that meeting, and they were excited because, each county gets, funding to help, pay internships and students, and they're already been told that they'll get 20, so we get to use that to pay some, so that's gonna help, that's gonna pay for the workers. So that was good, they would help out, I'm gonna meet with them and talk some other things over, but that was a very productive meeting. I'm so glad I got to go to that, and then I wasn't here to do, but I sent Gabe Dortry to the one for the city, and went to that, and I think that went well too also. So they just want him to bring, or I'll go back the next time to bring our budget and things like that, but they're willing to also help. So that was good. There's some city council members that I know that are behind that. So that makes me feel really good that the votes are there for that. So it looks like we'll come together and we'll get to meet with them again.
When are we gonna get locked in?
I'm hoping by this next month.
That'll be like when they decide for the budget.
Right, that's when they decide on their,
Maybe coming right around the corner.
right. So we got it, because it starts June. I think my biggest obstacle now is to find 2 people that can do the food program. Because the ones that did last year just couldn't do it, but I know we've got, looks like the funding's gonna be there for that, and we'll just have it all tied up and everything by April, so we have it all ready to go.
Great. Great.
That'd be great.
And you have people interested in working.
Yes. Yes, we do.
How about, I forgot to ask this earlier, what about the demolition of junior high? Is that kind of on for this summer? Joking?
That's another, we had a good 30-minute talk about that, because that should be, I'm still waiting for the boiler, the brand new boiler should already be put in. And I was asking PSFA why, because it's in the part that the company wanting to put it in. Our representative from PSFA hadn't okayed it or through that, so he's hopefully, I'll find out more this week also. He's putting the fire for him, trying to get, we gotta get that, 'cause you gotta get the boiler ready to bring that down. So,
Sorry, you might have said that last.
yeah.
Did you say that last meeting and I didn't?
Yeah, well, the meeting I just had with him Friday, I brought that back up, I said, cause that should be, he's kind of making it separate. Like we're putting the boiler in, then we're doing the demo. That, to me, that's one project. Why are you taking it apart? That slows it down when you do that. So I'm hoping, I'm thinking that it probably won't come down this June the way that, cause they would need to get in and start looking at the asbestos and getting that all cleaned out so it come out. We got all the people are lined up. the person that's doing the bowl at the company that's tearing, they're all, we're waiting on, PIN, or PSFA, we're waiting for the state to sign off on it. So all the legislative, all the, it's part of all them to sign off on it.
They create the
So,
nothing.
so, yeah.
The kids leave the day.
So, yeah, that's another one.
All right, next is the Palms Insurance Notice of Compliance.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah, that was pretty nice, and I had to do, the last few months, I've done surveys, and they call me and question me, and things, how we do, so we're gonna get that credit, because they very impressed with all of this, our procedures and what we have in policy, because I had to send our policy, I had to send what we've added, and what things we do through HR, things how we, okay, there's an incident, when something gets reported to us, whether it's valid or not, I showed them how I did that, and the principal, I worked on that one real quick, very next day, did our investigation, internal, and also we notified other people, so we did it right by the book. So I got to use that as an example, I said, this is what we just did on an incident where something was said, we had to make sure the validity of that. So they were impressed, so they sent our letter, one of the first letters that got sent out, that we're doing when we get a credit on ours. Because a lot of schools, when all this came out, they're gonna raise up all this, the money in our, it was, everybody, we're gonna be able to afford it. So I know everybody's tightening their procedures down and things, but I was so glad that Clayton had a pretty good working procedure and we were following it, we showed how we were following it. So I've been working with them since October of this. You know, we started October 10th. Giving them, calling me back, okay, I need this, can you explain, can you send me proof of how you did this? And that's showing, and then I got to show them examples, that this is something that happened this year, I just marked out all the names on it, this is the procedure, this is how we work with law enforcement, this is how we turned it in. So that really helped and got our letter out, so I get that credit. So that was all working.
That should really make the community feel good about our school system. It's an unfortunate but very common thing that occurs.
Yes.
How we're able to pass that is awesome.
Yep.
Knowing that.
So not all the schools have gotten their letters yet, so, but you got yours, and so I did, so it's been really good.
I agree, it's awesome. Thank you.
Next up is the School Board Association Spring, Region 3 meeting, that's gonna be at West Las Vegas on April 6th. Any of the school board members or superintendent who wants to attend are welcome to attend, you need to sign up no later than March 23rd, let Mr. Reynolds know.
Right, if you're gonna go, let me know, cause I have to put it down. So, and that's, and I'll drive a vehicle here, you can ride with me or however you want to, we'll leave and go, but I'm going and stuff, yeah.
We was talking about budget, so.
Yes, it should be a good one. I gave you the flyer for that and what's going on, so let me know, cause I usually just put everybody's name down. And if we don't show up, we're okay. I mean, it costs me $20, that's all right, or whatever the meal is, but if we don't, I always put everybody, I was gonna put everybody down, and
I
if you
can't
can't,
make it
you
that
can't,
way.
okay, then I'll just make sure.
What
you
is
take
it?
It's a
So-
Monday.
It's a Monday, it's always a Monday. So I know you can't make it, so, okay.
I probably can.
I'll come by and kidnap you, don't matter, I'll just throw you inside.
Yeah, throw me on it.
I think all of you know, so. All right,
Okay.
I'll just let you know.
I will.
Okay, good.
I will let you.
We'll come by, we're going right by your house so we can pick you up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you on the way, fella.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Yeah, you'll just not be able to help. You won't be able to help Wallace.
I'll be sure later.
I'll come by and pick you up.
I'll wait till y'all roll by, text you when you're leaving town and hit the dirt so that you guys will see.
Next up in the action items is consideration and approval of 2025 Mexico School Board Association Student Scholarship nominations. So this is where we nominate a student to be considered for the School Board Association Scholarship. They're not necessarily being awarded it, but it goes in the running for that scholarship. I don't know, Mr. Doherty, maybe we can get some recommendations from you.
Yeah, you know, we've got a lot of really super good kids. I don't know everybody's need. Sometimes I look at scholarships on a need basis and stuff like that. But we've got several seniors that I would tell you would be probably good kids. Ethan Gonzalez would be one that's pretty good a kid, Aloria Luna is another kid that's pretty good. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Yeah, Romaine, oh my gosh. It's super smart, super good kid, super, I love that, I mean, she's, God love her, she's a good kid. There's several of them, I don't know if I can, you know what, if you, when does this have to be in?
April 10th.
Can you give me like a day or two, and I will give you guys a list, I'll have Mr. Hope send you a list.
Oh, would you please? Yeah, that'd be great.
But-
Instead of just,
Do we have to have a special meeting to approve that?
Oh, that's right.
oh, shoot.
When do we have to do that?
It has to go into them by April 10th, but you can
Can you give him the authority to pick it?
do it that way.
Can we
You can make a motion that we leave it up to the principal to pick someone.
Do you wanna look at your list of seniors, or what do you wanna do?
At least we could give all.
Do you not wanna do that?
Would you?
Well, I hate to be the guy that gives a scholarship or recommends a kid. I write tons of letter of recommendations for kids, I do it all the time. But somebody else is picking who's going, if that makes sense.
We're going to make the nominations, right?
Yes, or unless we wanna say that he can.
Unless you couldn't give the authority for him.
We only nominate one?
Yes.
Can't send them five?
I think we can only nominate one.
Well, no, 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 no.
Well, I don't have a problem having a discussion.
But if I was gonna look at it and say just offhand, that quick, Romaine would be right at the top of my list.
Did she rank number one in her class?
She was
Yes.
the one in her class. Ethan would be number 2.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, it drops down from there. Is there kids with more need? Yeah, there's kids with more need. But when I look at it and I go, well, this student actually go to school where they actually spend 4 years there, where they actually do that, that's where I base a lot of my criteria on.
And who will be competitive at the state level?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. She would be.
Romaine.
She would be my number one pick.
Romaine Boulouron, it's the young lady that was here.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta nominate it.
Madam
I
President,
don't know their last name.
Madam President, I nominate Romaine Boulouron for the 2025 NMSBA Student Scholarship nomination.
I'll second that.
All right, so we will move in second to nominate Romaine Boulouron as our 2025 NMSBA Student Scholarship nomination. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Romaine will be our nominee for that scholarship.
Is there a packet that goes with it or something?
Yeah, I'll get the packet filled out soon, y'all know. Yeah. It's in there. Yeah, it's not a lengthy one.
I mean, I'm sure I don't wanna look at it.
Yeah, it's just, we have to put out, we list her name and then everything, her distribution, her leadership, her academic achievement, and community involvement. So I have all that, we can list all the things that she's been doing.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
we have to list all those, that's only 3 things you put on there. So it's not really a real lengthy one, but she's doing all the activities she's doing at school. So I want you to do a bullet thing and put it in there so they can look at it and compare. She has a lot that can be put on there, so.
We have a lot of excellent students.
We do.
There's a lot of,
We,
and there's some good seniors.
there are some really, yes. So we're very fortunate.
All right, next up is, we'll be moving into executive session, where we'll be discussing only matters pertaining to the discussion of limited personnel matters and confidential matters. We need a roll call vote to move into executive session, starting with Paul.
Paul Bearman and I.
Gus Wood, aye.
John Trujillo,
Eric Mastis, aye.
Jana Lee's aye. All right, we'll be moving into executive session at 7:18.
Administrators, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you again. Y'all have a great